What's the problem with labeling our employees? Hello and welcome to Communication Psychology. My name is Gerhard. I'm a psychologist from Hamburg, Germany, living here in the Republic of Moldova for many years. I'm specialized in international, intercultural and multilingual contexts. What's labeling? We assign a sticker, put a sticker on another human being. He is an extrovert, she is an introvert. You may prefer another type system, like old school, the 4 temperaments. Somebody is melancholical or choleric, or any other kind of personal stickers you can think of. It's natural to do this. It's unavoidable. It's built into our DNA. So we immediately react to another human being. Is it a positive or negative person, trustworthy, untrustworthy, and so on. Now, what's the problem with this? Well, you can say, of course, we are living in politically correct times, and we are aware of other people's feelings, maybe more than in previous generations. It's debatable, of course, but today especially it's very uncivilized to label other human beings. But if you look back to different idea traditions, religious traditions, it's for many hundreds of years already that we should restrain from labeling other people, especially if we ourselves have lots of defects. Now, from the recipient side, do you like to be labeled by somebody? If it's a positive label, of course, but sometimes it's a label you don't agree with. Maybe it's not even positive or negative, but you see yourself differently, and then maybe you feel you are somehow being gaslighted. That is, somebody ascribes feelings or a personality to you that is actually not your inner experience. So there are many, many arguments against labeling other people. Now, we do this instinctively. We cannot avoid it, but the question is, should we systematize it in our HR practices, in our human resources practices? An extreme example, I heard it from a German HR professor. He mentioned a German company that had a color code on the doors of their employees. So you, before entering the room, you knew what kind of type he or she is. Now, of course, that instinctively may sound somehow degrading, but maybe they enjoy it. I have no information about that. But the basic problem with types of personalities or other types is that it's not accurate. It doesn't reflect reality. To give you a very, very simple example, let's make a thought experiment. Yes? So you know of introverts and extroverts. Well, let's imagine we have a test that separates introverts from extroverts, so to speak. We have like 10 questions, and there are official questionnaires, of course, on introversion, extroversion. Let's keep it simple. We have 10 questions, and those questions separate the two categories. So now, and when we say that there's a cut-off point, like say at exactly you get certain points, let's say 100 points, and at 50 points, it's like the dividing line between extroverts and introverts. Yeah? So now the problem is, you immediately will see this, somebody with a point of, let's say, from 1 to 50, it's introversion, and from 51 to 100, it's extroversion. Now, what happens in reality is that people have different results from 1 to 100. And let's say one person has 1 point and another person has 49 points. Actually, they are quite different one from another. They have a separate a difference of 48 points. So they are quite different human beings according to those questions. On the other hand, we have another person, a third person, who has 51 points. So using a classification system, separating people into different categories, then the second person with 49 points and the third person with 51 points would be classified as different types. One is an introvert and the other is an extrovert, but actually their actual responses, they have only a difference of 2 points. So they are actually almost the same. But the first person with 1 point and the person with 49% points, they are put into the same group, but they have a big difference. So that's the fundamental problem with types, so like personality type models, so that they actually are, there's an underlying, you could construct an underlying scale and see that, well, there should be some kind of shades of introversion or shades of extroversion, or they are often mixtures, so nobody is a pure introvert or a pure extrovert or a pure choleric and so on. But if we start doing that, then the attraction of such models disappears, because the attraction is we can put labels on people and it simplifies. So it's simpler to say here's an extrovert and you're an introvert, and it's more complicated to operate with numbers. They say, okay, I'm on a scale of introversion, extroversion on 48 and he is 75 and that. So we want to have it simplified, because otherwise we have too many types. So actually in personality theory, the internationally preferred models are models that operate on scales, on dimensions, like the Big Five models. So you have different dimensions and you can grade, rate, self-assess human beings with a numerical value on a scale. And then you have more options to, for example, let's say if we have only those two categories, introvert or extrovert, then we have only two ways of describing people. But if we have like one scale with 100 possible points, then we have 100 options of describing those human beings. There are 100 of different variances of human beings. So I'm number 1, an introversion number 20, and so on. So of course we will continue to categorize, but in our HR practices and, for example, in assessing somebody's communication skills, we should make sure that we have a model that gives us more variety and not puts people into a category like he is shy or he is assertive and so on. And when we do communication trainings, we should strive to having some kind of scales, that we assign point values to people's performance and have also different dimensions. Otherwise, we revert to our instinctive labeling models, like he is a good presenter, a bad presenter, a good communicator, a bad, he is sure, unsure, and so on. Insecure, secure, and so on. I hope this was useful. If you want me to give a free masterclass on communication psychology in your company, in your team, please contact me on LinkedIn, or here on the website you can find the contact details. Bye-bye.